You're watching the Players Network.
Players World, it's Players World, Players World, Players World, it's Players World, Players World, it's Players World, it's Players World, Players World, Players World.
Ladies and gentlemen, casinos! Okay, hey everybody, welcome to the Players World Casino Nightclub where everybody's a player. I'm Brian Tracy and this is my partner Dana West. Hi Dana.
Hi,
how you doing? You look absolutely gorgeous, as always.
Thank you very much. You know how they have those casino and slot club hosts walking around the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's us.
That would be us. Now, we're going to be playing Blackjack a little bit
We
later,
sure
right?
are.
You feeling lucky?
I'm always feeling lucky. You know what? I have my little lucky rabbit's foot right here.
Mm-hmm.
I've also got my lucky $2 bill right here. I've got my lucky horseshoe right here.
Just happen to
it's
have
a
it
shoe
on you?
in, just happen to have it. I'm going to win. And I've also got my lucky anklet, which is right here.
I think we can look for that a little bit later on.
All right, well, do you have any lucky charms?
Actually, I don't need any. You know why?
Why?
Because I've got you.
Oh, isn't that
You're my
so-
lucky charm.
Thank you. Well, anyway, last night I ran into my friend Jack Black PI.
Now, he's that detective type that kind of runs around and tries to solve the mystery of how all these games are played, right?
Exactly. This time he got himself in a real jam. He's trying to remember the history of Blackjack. Take a look at this. Yet another gripping episode of Jack Black PI.
I was working my last hand of blackjack. I put down a substantial bet that would buy the lady that mink she had her peepers on. Problem was, my hand was a stiff, 16, and my pal with the cards was sporting a 7. All he wanted to know was one thing: stand or hit. I hadn't a clue. I thought, what would the pioneers of this game have done? The images flashed through my mind like an old movie. How blackjack, also called 21, developed in 19th century America with its origins in the French game 21, the Italian game baccarat, and the Spanish game 30 and 1. No help there. Then I remembered how the earliest record of the current game was from the backroom casinos at Indiana racetracks early this century. That was in the good old days when dealers paid a $5 bonus for a 2-card 21 using the jack of spades or clubs, giving the game its name. It still didn't help me with my problem. Then it hit me, like the fist of a showgirl's boyfriend. I remembered how in 1956 in Maryland, 4 engineers analyzed tens of thousands of blackjack hands on primitive calculators, and they came up with a chart of the best strategies. I was elated. I could picture the scene as clear as day. The chart, however, remained a fuzzy blur. I would have killed to get my hands on one of those cards with a chart on it, but unfortunately the gift shop was closed, so I was on my own. I knew I should have watched Players Network. All right, bud. I made my decision. This is for the lady.
You know, I wonder if Jack's woman got the mink.
I don't know. I
think?
suppose we'll never know, but I'd be willing to bet that she did get it.
I wonder.
You know, unlike Jack, your blackjack game doesn't really have to be a crapshoot. All you really need to do is to know a little bit more about the game, and it really will increase your chances of winning. Justine Priestley is going to give us the scoop on the basics of blackjack.
Should I stand or should I hit? If I hit, there could be trouble. But then maybe I should double, yeah.
It's the question at the heart of blackjack. Should you stand or should you hit? The object of the game is to beat the dealer without going over 21. So sit down at a table after checking out the minimum bet, say hi to the dealer, buy some chips, and ask him where he's from. Hi there.
Hi.
Can I buy some chips, please?
Sure.
Where are you from?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is okay. So you want to make friends with the dealer, so it gives you some good cards. Thank you. Now, place your bet, and he'll deal. Either from his hand if he's got 1 or 2 decks, or from a shoe if it's 4, 6, or 8 decks. Now he deals from first base to third base. See, it's like a baseball diamond, and you, the player, are at bat. First base is on your right, third base is on your left. Now, the dealer has 1 card face down, that's called the hole card, and 1 card face up, that's the up card. Now look at your cards. If you want to hit, do what I call the point. And if you want to stand, do the chop. Now, many casinos deal your cards face down. It's exactly the same game, just different customs. If so, pick them up and just use 1 hand, please. And look at them. And if you want to hit, do the scratch. If you want to stand, do the tuck. Okay, now you know the etiquette. Let's play. Face cards are worth 10 and aces are worth 1 or 11. So let's say you have 2 face cards. Congratulations, that's 20, an extremely strong hand. And it's pretty unlikely the dealer is going to beat that, so you stand. Now the dealer must deal himself until he gets at least 17. If he gets 17, 18, or 19 on this hand, you win even money. If he gets 20, you push, and your bet isn't touched. If he gets 21, you lose your bet. But if he goes over 21, he busts, and you win even money. Now, if you're dealt an ace and a 10 or a face card, you've got a blackjack and you're paid 3 to 2. That is, unless the dealer is nervy enough to deal himself a blackjack, in which case it's a push. By the way, the dealer would love if you gave him a toke. That means a tip in this town after you get a blackjack. Put a tip right here, and now it's in play for the next hand. If you double your money, he doubles his toke. Dealers love tokes, right?
That's right.
Now the juicy part, strategy. There are 5 basic tips you should memorize. Tip number 1, when you're holding a 17 through a 21, stand. You're already where you want to be. Tip number 2, when your hand is a stiff, which means a 12 through a 16, and the dealer is holding a weak card, anything from a 2 to a 6, stand. The exception to that rule is if you have a 12 and he has a 2, then hit.
Justine,
Lady Luck, the great spirit of Players World that helps everyone win.
I have a tip that'll help your luck.
Shoot!
Think 10. 10 appears more often than any other value. Comprising 4 out of the 13 denominations, you can assume the next card is likely to be a 10. Because if the dealer is showing a 2 through a 6, chances are they'll bust. Because if his hold card is a 10 and his first hit is a 10, he'll wind up 22 through 26. And we know what that is, a bust. Good luck.
Thanks, Lady Luck. Okay, continuing with our tips. Tip number 3, when your hand is a stiff, a 12 through a 16, and the dealer is showing a strong card, 7, 8, 9, 10, or ace, hit. He has a good chance of getting a 10, so you've got to take the chance to beat him. Tip 4, when you're holding a 10 or an 11 against a dealer's 2 through 9, double down. How? Place any amount up to your original bet next to it. You'll get just 1 card more, but chances are good you'll get a card worth 10, giving you 20 or 21. And tip number 5, when you're dealt a pair of aces or a pair of 8s, split them. Throw down your cards and double your bet. Now you have 2 hands with a good chance of winning on each. Okay, let's go over those tips again. Tip 1, when you're holding a 17 through a 21, stand. Tip 2, when your hand is stiff, a 12 through a 16, and the dealer's card is weak, 2 through 6, stand. The exception, 12 of yours against a dealer's 2. Tip 3, when your hand's a stiff and the dealer's hand is strong, 7 or over, hit. Tip 4, double down if you have a 10 or 11 and the dealer has a 9 or below. Tip 5, split aces and 8s. Now, different casinos have different customs. Sometimes you can double down only if you have a 10 or 11, and sometimes you can bail out of a scary hand by surrendering half your bet and keeping the other half. Ask the dealer. A couple more things for your gaming pleasure. First, a tribute to the amazing ace. It starts out worth an 11, So an ace and a 5 is worth 16. It's called a soft 16. You can take another card, and if you go over 21, that ace is now worth 1, and you've got a second chance. And last, try to get your hands on one of these basic strategy charts available in most gift shops as a card or in books about blackjack. It gives the exception to the tips I've mentioned and tells you how to get the mathematically best odds possible. If you memorize the basic strategy and play strictly by the chart, no hunches, you'll reduce the house advantage to less than 1%, making it one of the best bets in the joint. So have fun, good luck, and study the chart. Study the chart.
Study the chart. Study the chart. Study the chart.
Brian, hello. Snap out of it.
Oh,
hello.
I'm
welcome
back. I'm back.
Nice to have you here.
Well, thank you.
Like to talk about blackjack?
Yeah, I love blackjack.
All right, blackjack is a game of strategy, right?
Right.
We have the Players World resident gaming expert, Barney Vincent here.
Hi, Barney.
Barney,
Hi.
nice
How you
to
doing?
have you here.
Thank you.
Please help us out. We want to win.
First thing you want to do is learn the right way to play. And the thing is, you don't want to worry about your cards. What you want to do is worry about the dealer's cards. Now, we're assuming the dealer's bottom card is a 10. So what do we assume the dealer has?
15.
15. So do you want another card, or do you want the dealer to take it?
Well, what would you
Normally
normally do?
I would hit.
Would you?
Normally I would hit.
But I think we probably shouldn't.
So we're going to stay.
Right, you should. You want to make the dealer break. You're not trying to make a good hand. You're just trying to beat the dealer's hand. So we're assuming the dealer has 15. In this case, he did, and we're assuming the next card will be another 10, and we'll put him over 21. Well, it wasn't a 10, but it was bad enough. The dealer busted.
Yep.
And you
so
won.
it works.
Okay.
So it works.
We did
Very good. Barney, what about this game called Spanish 21?
It's similar to regular blackjack, except there are no 10s in the deck. There are jacks, queens, and kings, but no 10s. So you're playing with a 48-card deck instead of a 52-card deck. The neat thing about Spanish 21 is that you have all these different options where you get bonus payoffs, as you can see from the chart. And another thing I like about Spanish 21 is the fact that if you get 3 suited 7s and the dealer is showing a 7, you get a jackpot of $1,000.
Wow.
And every other player at the table gets a bonus jackpot or an envy jackpot of $50.
And I'll bet they like that, right?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
This game sounds good. What about, you mentioned the charts. Is there 2 different charts, or is it the same chart you can use for Spanish 21 and for blackjack?
No, there are
Study the
2 different
chart.
charts. So what you have to do is study the chart.
Study the chart. Study the
Watch
chart.
this.
Study the chart.
Okay,
Study the
folks.
chart.
Let's get down to the floor
Study the
and
chart.
boogie down. I've got a
Study
tab to show
the
you.
chart.
So come with us. I'm
Study
Dave West
the
for Brian
chart.
Tracy. There's no
Study
curfew.
the
Come out
chart.
and play. And you know what?
Study
Let's
the chart.
dance.
Study the chart.